Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you all to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Sarah Sullivan. My pronouns are she and her. And I want to welcome members, friends, visitors, those of us who are here online, those here in person, online. And it's a gorgeous morning, so I'm honored that you chose to spend it here with us. If you would take a moment to silence any ringers or dingers that you have, we can all join together. We're going to begin with committee moments, so if you would like to come up and share. I'll start while people are lining up. If you are not receiving the newsletter, there's a sign-up sheet in the lobby for that. And if you are ill, we remind you, please stay home and watch online. We like sharing, but not germs. And in the case that there's an emergency, we have 3 exits: the front where you came in, one down the back hallway, and out the memorial garden there. All right, thank you. Jill?
Good morning. Women's group met on Friday. We had a really fun game night. Lindsay was our big winner. She won the trivia. Yep. So we're going to meet again next month, March 7th. I'm still working on ideas, but if anyone has any suggestions, let me know, and I really enjoy the nights we have together.
Good morning. I talked to Ann, and she allowed me to be a committee of one to announce that I'm going to be leading again a one-week meditation retreat from the 15th to the 22nd, Saturday to a Saturday, next month, a place called Deer Haven up in Lake County. So if you all are interested at all in immersing yourself in mindfulness meditation, I'd be glad to help you out. You can contact me, go to our website. That's where you could register if you're interested. So I hope that you'll make use of this opportunity, and I wish you well.
So Ann, on behalf of the board, just to remind everybody that our quarterly meeting is 2 weeks from today, February 23rd. In the notable news, you can read the minutes from the last meeting, so you can look at them in advance. There will be childcare and light refreshments, so please plan to be here.
Janet Levins for programs. So next week, not this Sunday, next Sunday after the service, we're having a new Inquiring Minds discussion. The topic will be the state of our democracy. And I do not anticipate there'll be much debate about whether or not there are issues right now, but the discussion will turn it more around what we can do, what we can't do, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And maybe some of this will be, how we can take action, or maybe some of the action will just be understanding things better, or maybe we will want to just take a step back. So we'll be discussing all those things next week, after the service at noon.
Good morning, Lindsay Stroh for our annual auction. Sarah and I are co-chairing the auction, which will happen April 27th, the last Sunday in April. You may think that's a long way from now, but it does take some time to put this together. So Sarah and I are the co-chairs, and you are the committee. Everybody in this congregation can take part in the auction. The first thing on the table back there are forms you can use if you want to go to a business. There's a business letter, and there's a form the business can fill out. And there are also individual letters where you can form for an individual in the congregation. Or, even better, you can do it online. Online, you can attach a photograph, like from one of the great parties we had last year. You could put a picture of that on. Or for auction items, they're either tangible items, which is like a lamp or a statue or something, or it's a gift certificate, or it's a service. Like you want to wash windows, or you want to build something for somebody, or you want to cook or bake or quilt or paint a portrait. There's so many different services that we can do. For instance, you could say, you can park your car at my house for a week and I'll drive you back and forth to the airport. That's a wonderful gift, and people love that. But there are so many things you can do. If you'd like ideas, ask me. The parties that we have people tend to sign up for those fast because there's a limited number of people that can come. If you are interested in hosting an event, contact me soon because we don't want to have more than one event on one date. And if you want to have it here at the fellowship, we need to reserve the date, make sure it's an available date. So I'll be available after church, take a form. I'm available at auction at uuuf.org, and there's information in the notable news. Thank you. And it'll be fun.
And it'll be fun. Margie from membership. I am always happy to see new faces in the crowd. Every once in a while, I'll hold a coffee, cake, and chat where visitors who are welcome to come after services into our conference room, and we get together, introduce ourselves, learn a little more about our congregation, Unitarian and Unitarian Universalism in general, and I bring a pastry. So that'll be the 2nd of March. That's in 3 weeks. Last night we had an adult night out. That was a lot of fun. Derek had recommended the SAC Comedy Club, and that was a first for me. That was a good time. We started at Cucina Pizzeria across the street. Next adult night out will be the 3rd of March. It's a Monday evening for the Orlando Solar Bears. We are renting a suite. It is $30 a person, and we're limited to 15. So if you want to join in, let me know. There is also, for an additional charge, you can do a dinner. It's a buffet and open bar. That is $75 extra. You come early. If you don't have to do that. You can just come to the game for the $30 or add on the dinner beforehand if you like. So let me know if you're interested. That's the 3rd of March.
Hello, David McElroy. My wife and I, Marilyn McGinnis Ferminick, are doing a fundraiser for the church on March 1st. It's a Pulitzer Prize nominated show called Love Letters. It traces two people who grew up from childhood into middle age. It's very poignant. It's a very sweet play. We've done it several different places and gotten really great feedback. Would love for all of you to come, of course. But we'd like the public to come too. So if you would invite your friends, your neighbors, there's some flyers back over here if you'd like to post some in like maybe Starbucks and it's under nonprofit, so they usually let you put them up. And we'd like to see all of you here. There's also going to be refreshments from 6:30 on, and then the show will start at 7. So we'd love for all of you to come. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Miguel Rodriguez from Social Action Committee. As you can see, we're going to have our next meeting in 2 weeks from this Sunday, but at 9 a.m. because of the quarterly congregational meeting that starts right after the service. We're going to move our time slot to 9 a.m., so hope you can make it. Also, we have that resource guide I've been telling you about, and I've been asking for people to pitch in, volunteer, and submit your talents, because it's not just going to be a resource guide to, about, what's happening with bird flu and, where can I get cheaper gas or something like that. But it's also going to showcase our, who we are as you. I sat here, a few months ago, and there was a beautiful poetry reading. So if you have beautiful poetry you'd like to submit, an essay or something, a painting you like to scan and submit to us, or if you're a photographer, do that. Jill is our first volunteer. She's going to, I think, submit to us a recipe that she has. And oh, right. Chicken, all right. All right. Chicken tending. Excellent. And that's important for this time. Not tenders. Tending. Yeah, tending, right. That's right, totally separate. Well, one can lead to the other.
All right.
But we understand now the difference between those. And we thank you, and that's very important for these times. So thank you, Joe. We're going to put that in the resource guide. So keep that in mind, folks. And the last thing is we're on the radar for the pledge. Dr. Joel Hunter has reached out directly. Well, I reached out to him, and then he reached back to me during the holidays. And SAC is being invited to their quarterly meetings now and everything. So we're going to be more engaged within the community. They're going to know about us. We're going to know about them. We're going to be able to share resources and information. So that's great. So if you haven't, there's this flyer on the table back there, and you can also please upload the app to your phone, because in case you ever need of any help, or if you see something, say something. It's there. If there any discrimination, you see it, call it out and report it. And there's a lot of resources for yourself as well. Thank you.
Hi, Lori Hospitality. I've got two things. One is, we have a wonderful problem. If you look around the church, we're beginning to fill the church. So we're asking that when you come in, you fill from the center, because then when people come in later, they can find seats. So that's a request, to try to fill from the center out to let people get in. The second thing is, I can have opportunities, and next week you can serve coffee, and any week after that. So please see me after service if you want to have a chance to talk to all the members of your congregation. Thank you. No experience required.
Oh. Well, thank you to everyone. You can see we have a lot going on here. It's a very vibrant congregation, so get involved. So, my opening words. We come to spiritual community this morning with many hopes in our hearts. The hope for inspiration, the hope for comfort, the hope for renewal. In this time and space, may inspiration water our thirsty souls. In this time and space, may comfort blossom in the gardens of our hearts. In this time and space, may renewal course through us, as electric as a surge of energy, as serene as a nourishing meal, as contagious as joy, and bring us vitality and rejuvenation. Our opening music today is Even Now by the choir. And I will let you know that the ending part is about silence. There is a moment of silence before we continue to the ending, so don't clap early. I love that idea. Even now, the day breaks. Our chalice lighter this morning is Josephine. She, her pronouns. She's 5 years old, and her parents brought tomatoes today. Oh. Well done. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And now, what we pledge to each other, our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. Welcome to everybody who's here in the room today. And if you would also take a moment and wave hello to the people who've joined us online, we're happy that you joined us as well. If you could also just take a moment and turn and greet the person next to you, welcome them here today. Such wonderful music. Oh, I remember. Shh. That's Martha's trick. Shh. There we go. Oh, I know, it's so lovely to be together. We move to our time of joys and concerns. Sharing the important events in our lives brings us closer together in community. And if you would come up to the microphone, if you'd like to share something important in your life, do remember that this is being broadcast to the internet and therefore to the whole world. And so be mindful in what you're sharing.
My joy is I play basketball.
Last night, Jules babysitted me.
Did you say who babysitted you?
Jules.
Jules.
I have no shoes.
So beautiful.
I'm finally back.
Hi, I'm Cookie. I have a joy to share. I got a haircut. I did some self-care, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Hi, everybody. My name is Luna, and my joy is that I'm very happy that my mom got a haircut, and it's very beautiful.
I went to a demonstration yesterday supporting the immigrants and the and trying to. Anyway, it was down at Waterford Lakes. We had a lot of people there. It was really worthwhile. But I had to stop and think that I'm 80 years old and I've been demonstrating since the Vietnam War. I sure as heck hope it helps.
Allie here. I want to thank Luna for the sticker this morning. Joey for the really good hug, 'cause that was a bear hug this morning, and it was a good one. But I want to put out good energy for BJ at the East Orlando gym. I did kickboxing, and I've been doing it for forever. But I was like, we do it with weights, small weights, and I was sacking everything on my footrests, and then he's like, "I got you, girl. Everything's in the thing." And then he put out a mat so I don't slip, and it was just a really good, thoughtful moment. So, thank you.
Hi, Lori. I have things that are both joys and concerns. You all know there was a fire in my building. They finally started to do the deconstruction. So there's the 2 apartments beside me, or units beside me, and the one above me are all being stripped down to bare studs. Good news, it's going on, and they're moving quickly. Bad news is I'm living in the middle of a construction zone, but it's going to be only for a certain period of time. The other thing is, a couple of weeks ago, I asked you to think of positive thoughts for a friend of mine who had a procedure at Mayo. She came through it okay. She came through it fine, but it didn't do everything we'd hoped. But thank you.
I am Ellen, and I'm on fire with love for my daughter. We had a baby shower for Andrea yesterday. She has a 2.5-year-old by the miracle of science and perseverance, and she's pregnant again by the same reason, and baby's due April 26th. We had such a wonderful group of people. That room was just full of love and positive vibes, and everything was wonderful. So I'm just glowing from that and so happy. And my granddaughter's names are Madeline, and the new one will be Chloe.
I think we're supposed to stand here. As many of you know, I have grandchildren, and the 2 youngest ones are 3-year-old twins. And who's laughing? So I send Valentines to my kids, not my kids, my grandkids. And I sent the boys their first Valentines this year. They were ecstatic. They had to call me immediately. Gigi, thank you for the Valentine card. And just on and on and on. It was the cutest thing you've ever heard.
We're Roberta and Harvey, and it's almost going to say almost what you said. No, today is our great-grand twins' 2nd birthday. And they had a party. They don't live in Florida. And we were invited by Zoom. So we went to their party right on our back porch.
On the birthday theme, Carl and I will be traveling on Thursday to the UK. His mom is turning 90 the week after.
So before my mother moved in next to me 14 years ago, she was in the Midwest and having a hard time on her own. And she and I, in her little town, managed to meet a family from Michoacan. Their Masawa is the tribe they're from in that area. And they've been in the States now probably 25 years. Anyway, this family was a godsend and really helped my mother out a lot. And I could talk for an hour about them. And over the years, they helped my mother tremendously, and I managed to help them during some big events in their lives. But now I feel like I'm absolutely helpless. In the youngest is 24. He's the only one who's a citizen. And so the other 4, I feel like there's really nothing. I talked to her on the phone recently, and she said, Margie, I'm not worried because God is good and God has always helped us. And I don't feel as optimistic as she does, and I really don't know that there's anything I can do. That's all.
Hi, I'm Jason. As Josephine mentioned, we're having a really good winter garden this year. And for my job, I develop new varieties of tomatoes. And so we always want to try the latest, greatest, and see how they do. So you can be our guinea pigs. They're in the back. Please take some home.
Good morning again. First, I want to say, Joey, thank you for everything you do, and keep it up. Thank you for protesting from the Vietnam War to now. Another joy I have is about 8 months ago, I was blessed to find one of the most becoming famous Canadian Christian YouTubers on the internet, Reverend Ed Travers. It's spelled Trevors. If you can, look him up. There's no difference between you and him. He's an Anglican priest of St. Mary of Scotland in Nova Scotia, Canada, on the ancestral and unceded land of the Mi'kmaq people, Khoi. I hope you one day are able to see this video, Reverend. He's made such a difference in my life and many thousands of people's lives. He'll do a live chat service, and he'll call you by name. He'll say, hi, so Miguel from Orlando says good morning, and he'll answer questions if he can. There are hundreds of people that are asking and commenting on YouTube, but he'll try to get to everybody if he can. So that's my joy. My concern is his wife, that she's going for some medical treatment. So thoughts and prayers and all heartfelt, whatever you can send, get on the on the YouTube, like and subscribe. It'll definitely help.
Good morning. I have two things. One is a concern, and I kind of hate the same thing, but my daughter-in-law, who was with an agency with Catholic Charities serving the immigrant community in Austin, found out Thursday that she had they were furloughed, hours to close their entire casework and pack up their office and go home, like within a day. And for her, obviously, but for the community that she supports, the other, it's crushing, but it is crushing all over. The other thing that is probably the one really bringing me to tears right now is there are a couple of gentlemen, and I know they're watching, and they love this church. They often sit right there when they're able to come. I won't say their name because it's recorded. And one of them is going through cancer treatment. I know he's talked about it. So when they don't come to church, it's a really bad time. And I want them to know that I'm thinking of them, and I love you wherever the camera is, and that I want, it's up there, and I want, not up there, like, that would be good too. I mean, over there, like, wherever we can get it, and to please just pray in however you define prayer for them. Thank you.
And on behalf of the newly pastoral care team that we'll be hearing about, Marcia, for those of you who know that Marcia Fudum, she did have a fall a month or so ago. She cracked something in her pelvis. She's doing quite well. She looked great. Lorraine and Marilyn and I saw her Thursday. Anyway, cards. Come see me afterwards if you'd like her address. We'll help you get cards to her. Phone calls, you can try. But cards will work a lot better. She's doing well. She may be back in rehab in another week or two after her family from Turkey goes home, because she was really getting some good therapy. So keep her in your thoughts.
Thank you, everyone. There were a lot of joys and concerns shared this morning. It sounds like we are overflowing with lots of feelings and emotions, and things are happening. So let's take a moment to breathe and to send good energy. Thank you, everyone. We're now going to move into our time for all ages. Reverend Kathy will be doing it for us today.
So my story today is from my colleague, Reverend Christopher Bice. Once upon a time, there was a village with a road that went straight down the middle. And one day, something strange happened. God walked down the road, and she was beautiful. She wore a long, flowing robe, and on the top of her head was the most wonderful hat. And all the people stopped to stare as she walked by, and they kept staring until she disappeared out of sight. Once she was gone, a man said, "Boy, God sure was beautiful. And wasn't that an amazing purple hat she was wearing?" And a woman on the other side of the street said, "She was beautiful, but that was not a purple hat. It was a green hat." It was definitely a purple hat. No, it was a green hat. They really got into it, and pretty soon people started joining in, and after a while, everybody was there. It was a little bit like this. This side was all yelling purple. Work with me here. Green, purple, green. Say it like you mean it. To them. The people got so mad they were screaming at each other, and they finally decided to build a wall right down the middle of the street. And now, after that, the people on one side of the street were enemies with the people on the other side of the street, and they never spoke at all. And the people on one side of the street built a church where they worshiped a god with a purple hat. And the people on the other side built a temple where they worshiped a god who wore a green hat. Many years passed, and they were still enemies. And then, one day, God came walking back through town. She balanced on top of the wall that they had built, and she was wearing no hat at all. All the people ran to the wall and cried, "You must settle our argument." "Yes," said a man. "The people on that side said that when you walked through our village years ago, you were wearing a purple hat, but we know better, you were wearing a green hat. So tell us, God, what color was your hat?" God looked puzzled, scratched her head in thought, and said, "I think I remember walking through this village many years ago, and I believe that on that day I was wearing my hat that is green on one side and purple on the other side." And saying nothing more, God continued down the wall until she disappeared out of sight. It was very quiet for a moment. And then suddenly there was the sound of one child laughing. And then another, and then everyone was laughing because they realized how foolish they had been. And as the sound of laughter grew louder and louder, the wall began to shake and crumble and finally tumbled to the ground. And for many, many years after that day, people told the story of God's hat and how laughter had torn down the wall between a foolish and divided people.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy. The music for our interlude and offering will be by Alicia Tran and Andrew Young again. Andrew Short, thank you. And if you weren't so lucky to be here early and hear their prelude, it was marvelous. We're really lucky to have them here playing today. Before they start, I want to let you know that we are Share the Plate today is for the Orlando Center for Justice. Thank you, that was beautiful. And for our children's recessional, we love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. If you would now join me in welcoming Reverend Kathy Schmitz. When I heard the title of her talk, Welcome to My Lily Pad, I immediately thought of Kermit the Frog, who, if you remember from his first movie, which was a few years ago, Kermit went on a long journey. Sounds like we're going to learn more about journeys and experiences today. So please join me welcoming Reverend Kathy.
So, our friends have lifted up many of the concerns of the world. And I want to say that today I am not addressing them directly. However, what I think the world needs and what we need to remember is who we are and our values. And I think we need to connect and keep our hearts open. And so that inspires my words today. And I'd like to start by inviting you to a time of metta meditation, our loving kindness meditation. We say the words during the affirmation, love is the spirit of this church. And it's a simple message, and yet it's one that challenges us again and again to open our hearts. Love is the spirit of this church. So this is a way of practicing being more open and more loving. Now, it comes from the Buddhist tradition, and I've taken a few liberties. Sorry, Peter. When I offer an invitation, you have a choice. If you aren't ready to try it, you are welcome to sit quietly while others do. Now, in loving kindness meditation, we start with ourselves and think loving thoughts, and then make bigger and bigger circles to create loving thoughts in. So I invite you now to a time of meditation and reflection. You might choose to sit firmly but comfortably, perhaps lower or close your eyes. Relax and breathe, and I will guide the process. We begin and end with the sound of the bell. Begin with yourself. Think about yourself and imagine you are in a little circle. And think these thoughts. May I be free from danger and unafraid. May I be happy in body, mind, and spirit. May I live with ease of well-being. At any time, you can return to this place and offer yourself care and concern. Now, I invite you, if you like, to bring to mind a person you love or for whom you have deep gratitude, and offer them these thoughts. May this person be free from danger and unafraid. May this person be happy in body, mind, and spirit. May this person live with ease of well-being. Now perhaps bring to mind a person you like, you're fond of. May this person be free from danger and unafraid. May this person be happy in body, mind, and spirit. May this person live with ease of well-being. Now perhaps bring to mind a person you feel somewhat neutral about. Perhaps the person you bought your newspaper from this morning, or who you saw out walking their dog. May this person be free from danger and unafraid. May they be happy in body, mind, and spirit. May this person live with ease of well-being. And now I invite you to bring to mind a person you have difficulty with. For now, don't choose your most challenging person. This is a practice. Begin slowly, and remember that you can always return to giving care and concern for yourself. Now bring your person to mind. May this person be free from danger and unafraid. May this person be happy in body, mind, and spirit. May this person live with ease of well-being. And now, finally, I invite you to offer your care and concern to all the world. May all beings be free from danger and unafraid. May all beings be happy in body, mind, and spirit. May all beings live with ease of well-being. Love. Love is the spirit of this church. It's a simple message, but one that challenges us again and again to open our hearts ever wider. This time, I'd like to ask the people who have volunteered to be care coordinators to come forward. As we increase our awareness of our circles of care and concern, nope, I just need, you hold on to that and you're all set. I'll tell you, that's okay. Okay. All right. So we are excited to announce that the UUUF Pastoral Care Committee is being reinvigorated. After careful consideration of both the needs and the capacity of the fellowship, the group has decided to offer 5 types of care: cards, meals, transportations, visits, and miscellaneous. You see them up on the slide. That's my specialty. Now, so we have more people than we have coordinators, but each one of these areas of care has a coordinator who stepped up. And so as I say their name, if they can wave or step forward for a second. So Marilyn London will be coordinating cards to comfort, cheer, or celebrate. Jill Vita will organize meals for short periods during recovery or crisis. Joey Cole will work on transportation, in her new car and your cars, particularly to medical services. Marianne Feldheim will organize visits either to home or hospital. Mary Ann has also agreed to be the air traffic controller for the group. Pray for her. Lori Strell will receive miscellaneous requests, which may include things like brief periods of pet care, home repair, or yard work, again, particularly during times of crisis or recovery. Lori will hear the request and determine if there's capacity within the fellowship. And then we have several other members. If you other people want to wave, there you go. Now, I will, you don't need to remember all this, because the way to let the team know that you or someone needs care remains the same: an email to pastoralcare@universityuus.org, which you can always find at the bottom of the Notable News weekly newsletter. Okay, you will notice that I refer to these people as coordinators, and that is because the care team is really all of you. The role of this group is not to provide all the care, it is to help connect people in need of care with those willing to help meet those needs. So, thank you. I'll let you return to your seats now. So, as an example, Jill will not be providing meals for everyone that needs one. She will draw on a list of fellowship members willing to provide those meals, and each coordinator will have such a list. And how, you might ask, will these lists be created? An excellent question. You will sign up for them. We have a simple form for you to fill out indicating the types of care that you are able to provide. You can scan the form access the form by scanning this code, and now people who I gave little handouts to, yeah, so there are some dotted around if for some reason you can't scan that, or you need one later. And yeah, we got some more up here. Also, we have several members of the care team who will be available after the service to help you if you need help with the technology. Know that by using the technology, you make their lives easier, because it all ends up in a list as soon as you put it in there. Nobody has to type it in and make mistakes and things like that. You'll be asked which types of care you can provide and any special limitations or specialties. For example, I can drive, however, the person needs to be able to get themselves in and out of the car on their own. or I can provide vegetarian and gluten-free meals. As a special note, once you're on the list, you will be offered opportunities, but you are always free to say either yes or no. If it's not a good time for you, you just pass, and someone else on the list hopefully will take care. If we have robust lists, everyone will be able to serve when the time is right for them. And to help sure that everyone feels comfortable when they have an opportunity to support someone else, next month we'll have a care workshop after worship on March 9th. Everyone is invited for a conversation that will cover things like managing confidentiality or asking good questions, like, in other words, how not to ask stupid questions, or when you should be calling in extra assistance. And so that's for everyone. We particularly invite those who would like to provide care or any leader in the congregation, but everyone's welcome. We hope all members will take time to learn about how they can support the team, and together we can strengthen and expand the circles of care within this beloved community. So thank you. And thank you to our new team. Okay, there you go. Today, I'd like to invite you to my lily pad. Welcome. My lily pad is a metaphor for my worldview, everything I know or think I know and how I've made sense of it. My lily pad is pretty good sized. I've been growing it for a long time. If I sit down in the middle of it, I can hardly see the edges. I'm untroubled by anything out there beyond the edge of my lily pad. Nothing that might distress me or call my understandings into question can reach me. It's a pretty comfortable place. Perhaps you have a lily pad too? A place where you can sit and feel comfortable as you gaze around? I want to acknowledge that not everyone's lily pad is quite as comfortable as mine. I acknowledge a certain amount of privilege in having such a place of unquestioned comfort. But I do like my lily pad. Now, since we're going to be spending some time on lily pads today, I want to invite those of you who are metaphorically challenged to do your best to play along. I will try to give you markers along the way. Also, like most metaphors, this one is fragile. You can probably break it with very little effort. You get no gold star for doing so, so let go of that. It's also probably important to mention that this is a magic lily pad, and so I apologize in advance to any botanists or amateur lily pad experts who are likely to be troubled by some of the claims I'll be making about my lily pad. So when I was little, my lily pad was little and my vision was short and my experience limited. First, I could see only my family. Then I began to experience my small town, and my lily pad grew. Whenever I became aware of something beyond the boundary of my lily pad, I could wander over to the edge and explore it if I wanted. Think about what that means. We can wander over to the edge of everything we know and learn more. And here's the magic. When we stand on the edge of meaning, the edge of all of our understanding, and we take in more, right there, under our feet, the lily pad grows. The thing that was out there, outside, beyond our understanding, can be incorporated into our worldview, and the lily pad grows. Maybe this has happened to you. It can be nerve-wracking to stand on the edge facing the unknown. It can be tempting to turn tail and run back to the center of the lily pad or drop our gaze and look the other way. It can be tempting to ignore or reject opportunities to grow. But here's the thing. If we are brave enough to stand on the edge, to risk falling splash into the unknown, we grow and our worldview grows. And then when we go back to the center of our lily pad, we can look any direction we want with confidence and without fear. And the world we understand is fuller and richer and likely more accurate than the world we knew before. All this because we did not look away from new understanding. It is good to grow our lily pads. Perhaps you can think of a time when you faced something new, the unknown, and grew. We've actually had lots of opportunities in the last few years, common ones. Let's look at just one. In February of 2020, 5 years ago, a month before the pandemic shutdown, many of us had never done Zoom before. Does anybody want to show of hands? Who had done Zoom before the pandemic? Okay, so maybe a third. So now it's a regular form of communication. We've experienced so many new things, and as we experience them, we have more confidence, we can see and experience things more clearly. Now, while most of us are happy to have the choice to be back in person, as we have learned, we have grown our lily pads individually and collectively. So just thinking about worship alone, let alone all those meetings, being online means that if you choose, we now have ways to include more people. People who have moved away, people who aren't feeling well today, people who are homebound or immune compromised, people who are traveling or snowbirding. If we choose, we can welcome a family who's had too much of a meltdown to get here today. A shy person not ready yet to walk through the door. Folks from another congregations whose worship team needed a break today. If you want, you can welcome guest speakers from around the country. So many things that we can do. Hi, folks online. Because that opportunity that we didn't ask for allowed us to grow. It can be challenging to grow our lily pads, but when we do, we have so much to gain. Our circle of concern and who we can include has expanded. I'm reminded of our third Unitarian Universalist Association principle that said, we covenant to affirm and promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. We encourage growth. The principle specifically called out spiritual growth. And I should explain that when I use the word spiritual, what I mean is I'm referring to how we are connected, whether to nature or God or the universe or to human community, connection to something beyond ourselves. So for me, a larger, richer, more accurate worldview represents spiritual growth. It helps us better understand our place in the world and our connections to it. It deepens meaning. We encourage growth. That's what the third UUA principle said. But I don't want to move off the principle without noting that it also first said, we affirm and promote acceptance of one another. Acceptance. For this acceptance can be the way we help each other find the middle of our lily pads. Because I really do wish for everyone to have a place of comfort where they can go back and find the comfort when they need it. When we accept one another, we help each other know that we are enough. Although our recent Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly updated our bylaws to state our values rather than our principles still speak to us, and we find them captured in our new values. While we encourage growth and transformation in the values, we also know that every person is inherently worthy. And this is important because sometimes life is rough. Even those of us with fairly robust lily pads will get knocked about. Like when a boat drives by and the wake throws that lily pad up in the air, it's a good idea to be in the center so we don't get knocked off. When life is giving us challenges, significant losses, even meaningful transitions, it might not be the best time to run to the edge of the lily pad and look for more challenges. I remember once I signed up for a retreat. My mom had just died, and the time away with colleagues sounded really good to me. But when I arrived, I realized that I hadn't focused on the topic for the retreat, and it was a fairly challenging one. Oops. I wasn't in a good place for a challenging topic and the opportunity that unfolded. It was easy for me to get mad at the retreat organizers for making me uncomfortable. and I might have done that. In the reality, they had offered a rich opportunity that I might have really appreciated under other circumstances. I try to remember this so that in the future, when I find myself in such places, I can excuse myself and do what I need for self-care, go get a haircut apparently, and I can remind myself not to lash out at others who haven't done anything wrong. Perhaps you can think of a time when you really needed to be in the middle of your lily pad, or when someone else needed to be in theirs, and perhaps they declined a challenge or a growth opportunity that you were offering, fabulous though it was. Can we learn to be compassionate with ourselves and each other at times like this? Our loving kindness meditation today is a reminder of the ways we can expand our circles of care and concern, open our hearts to greater circles, increasing the chances that we will understand the perspective of another. And even when we can't understand, we can offer care and compassion. We all have times we need to go to the center, when we need acceptance more than we need another chance to grow, when what we need most is just to be okay with who we are today. And then, when we are ready, it will be time to venture out again. When I ventured out after that retreat, I found my lily pad had grown again. My life experience now included losing my last parent, something I had understood intellectually before, but now I understood on a deeper level. And of course, I could try to protect myself a little bit in my time of grieving, but we can't protect ourselves from all challenges. After all, I didn't choose to lose my mother. Some changes aren't optional. Growing from them is. Sometimes we choose growth, and sometimes the growth chooses us. I think of the villagers in our earlier story. One half of the village thought that God wore a green hat, the other a purple. Both missed out on the opportunity to grow to the possibility of a hat that was both purple and green, let alone to the possibility that God's hat didn't matter at all. We can really miss out when we pass up opportunities to grow our lily pads. I first started to understand my lily pad after attending a workshop with Dr. Mark Hicks years ago. Dr. Hicks is professor of religious education at Meadville Lombard Theological School, which trains some of our Unitarian Universalist ministers. He is the creator of Beloved Conversations, a program which some of you may be familiar. The title of the workshop was Dancing on the Edge of Meaning. As the week-long workshop approached, I kept imagining what it would look like to dance on the edge of meaning. That week, I learned many things about expanding our understanding and challenging preconceived notions. Over the course of the workshop, my image of a lily pad emerged, and there I was, joyfully encountering new learning, up on my toes, twirling around, tipping over the edge, tipping back, watching my understanding grow right under my feet. Now, a few years later, I did have occasion to attend another workshop with Dr. Hicks. I explained the lily pad to him, and he looked really bemused, and he said, "Really? That's what you got out of the workshop? Okay, then." So as I describe this image to you, I invite you to make of it what you will. But let me offer some options for your lily pad, some expansion packs, if you will. Let's talk about blemishes. What happens when the new thing that we learn proves something we used to know to be false? Say you grew up in a tradition that labels some people sinners, and your current understanding is seeing those people instead as children of love. What happens to the part of the lily pad that represented that old understanding? Should we cut it off? Let it float away? Pretend it never existed? Refurbish it is an interesting idea. Would it be an accurate representation of reality to pretend it didn't exist? I wonder if instead we might imagine those old understandings as a discoloration in our lily pad, something that stays with us a bit, part of our lily pad, but no longer defines us, something that gives us insight to those who maybe still hold those views that we used to hold. If you've come from such a place, you understand it much better than those who have never been there. And that's a powerful insight. Are there blemishes on your lily pad? Reminders of the understandings that you have let go of, but which continue to inform your view of the world. And now let's talk about muck. When I think about lily pads, I'm reminded of an Asian understanding of the lotus. It's an acknowledgement that the beauty we see on the surface, in fact, has its roots in the mud and the muck below. The worldview represented by our lily pad may seem neat and clean. It may be graced with a lovely lily. But I would guess that for most of us, an honest look at what lies beneath would reveal that we have been through a great deal of mud and muck to get to where we are today. What mud and muck has nurtured you to be who you are today? Thinking about my lily pad comes in helpful for me when I encounter some challenging learnings, like the world is asking of me today. For example, issues around race, disability, gender identity. We're called to expand our understanding, and sometimes I want to run back to the middle of my privileged little lily pad. And honestly, sometimes I do, for a bit. But then I really try to go dancing instead. I shimmy right up to the edge of everything I understand, and I get up on my toes and I try that twirl, and I engage with what I find there, even when it's scary, even when it's hard, even when I mess up. Because if I keep dancing and exploring that edge right there under my feet, that magic happens, and I find I'm no longer standing precariously on the shaky edge of a leaf with waves lapping at my feet. Something has shifted, my perspective has changed, my world has grown, and my lily pad is bigger. And the gift of this engagement has been a fuller, deeper, more honest view of the world that I live in. And this is the real magic with which I leave you. When this happens, when my lily pad grows, when my understanding of the world becomes fuller and deeper and more honest, I rest secure that in growing my lily pad, in widening my circle, I have made the world better, not only for me, but for everyone I encounter. And so I encourage you to take a little inventory of your lily pad and see if there's some areas where you might do a little dancing. May it be so.
If you would join me, we extinguish this flame. Our closing music will be Building Bridges. It's going to be a round that's going to be led by Janet and Gary.
Please stand as you're willing and able. This is on page 1023 in the hymnal you have. We've sung it before, so it should be somewhat familiar. We're going to sing it through together, all together twice. It's pretty short. And then we're going to do it as a round twice. I'm going to be leading this side of the room and coming in first, and Gary's going to be leading the other side of the room and coming in second. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions,
Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
Friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
So as we close our service today, it has gone a little longer than normal, but thank you for staying. We will have a postlude after this, but again, if you need to leave, please do. And I just wanted to say, today is a beautiful day, so take a moment to go outside and enjoy the weather. Take a moment to just breathe, for 1 minute, to just breathe. Take a moment to deeply listen to someone, and take a moment to send loving kindness to the world and to yourself. Thank you. And Alicia and Andrew will close us out.